a lot of talk about these two guys possibly getting traded, but it's fascinating scenarios. Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell. Trae Young, again, Hawks disappoint, out playing already. A lot of talk about Trae Young possibly getting traded for like the last year. Seems like this is more than possible than ever before, but he's still kind of the face of the franchise. Still their probably most marketable star, homegrown star. Donovan Mitchell, been great for the Cavaliers. Still a really good team. They dealt with a lot of injuries, and he was the guy, a lot like Brunson in ways, that was still good for a good bit, anchored them and held them above water and stuff like that. But there's all this talk about he's probably not going to re-sign. You would want to trade him now while you have the value of a whole another year left. And it comes down to it. Which one do you think that this summer is more likely to get traded?
That's close. I will say Trae Young, because they are going to try hard to trade Trae Young. I'm not even that's going to happen. I will tell you from executives and just people I've talked to around the league, these calls often go something like this: Trae Young, what would that look like? By the way, is DeJounte available? People in the league are just like DeJounte's game better, where Trae Young doesn't defend, demands the ball. He's going to have the ball a lot on offense, and by the way, scores a lot of points, gets a lot of assists, will bring your offense up. I don't want to he's an all-star, borderline all-NBA offensive player, but there's a sense that you can't really build a true winner around him. You could with DeJounte. So, they're going to try to move him. They've got to move one of them. It obviously doesn't work. Yeah. But it's going to be really interesting to see how that shakes out and what they might ultimately have to settle for to move Trae and bring back. And they need to retool that guy. They're hard to watch. They were hard to watch in that play-in game, man. Donovan Mitchell's. We're going to find out what's important to him, aren't we?
Yeah.
Is he going to do what I guarantee you his agent is telling him to do, which is sign the max. If you want to leave, we can get you out in 2 years, which is kind of how things go around the NBA now. Just take the bag. If you're unhappy, we'll figure it out. But is the money big enough at this point where he's just kind of no, I really want out, and I want to go. The Knicks have long been rumored. Your Knicks would be an obvious fit. But there would be a line of teams though willing to, Orlando. There'd be a line of teams willing to jump in there if he comes available. It's really what's important to him. Is it going home? Is it the money? Is it what does he ultimately want? And I think this playoff run could have a say in that. Do they lose to Orlando in the first round, or do they they get to the second round, and even if they get bounced in the second round, they have a good series, and he plays well, and suddenly you can see a path forward. They've got some decisions to make beyond him with Evan Mobley and how that all fits, but it's going to be interesting. Ultimately, it comes down to Donovan Mitchell's going to have the options, and we're going to find out what he really wants.